So there's two books that need no introduction to our channel and to the community internationally, especially back here in South Africa. The one obviously being Living Coloured and the other being Living Lekke. The man from Mitchell's Plain to Aeroplane. Today we chat to Yusuf Daniels, the author of these two magnificent pieces. We chat to him about his life story and his future upcoming events and possibly another book in the making. This is the SA Diplomat Abroad. I'm Abdurraouf Henslow. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel and pound the notification bell. We chat to Yusuf Daniels.
I'm Yusuf Daniels. I am outside the house where I grew up in Mitchell's Plain, Portlands, and we are shooting That Coloured show. That is my new show.
Hello.
That
Coloured. Not the coloured. Coloured.
That Coloured. That Coloured show.
That's coloured. It is show. You must watch it, but watch it for me.
That's my show.
I'm gonna be on it,
That's my show.
but I'll be there.
But that's a coloured
But
show.
I'm gonna be funny.
But that's my
I'm
coloured
gonna
show.
say things. I'm gonna.
Fuck off, it's my show. My show. Big game on the side.
Y'all been going with the act. I've been on my grind, no slacks. I've been on my grind, no grip, no wax. Y'all been going with the act. I've been on my grind, no slacks. I've been on my grind, no grip, no wax. Homie, goddamn, you got the soft hands. You in the lost land, so the shit is all damned. I've been chasing money ever since a young man. No coincidences, bitch, this shit was all planned. Now it's known to smoke from coast to coast, an ocean boast. The flow was dope from note to note.
Yusuf, welcome to the SA Diplomat Abroad.
How's it, Abdurraouf? How's it?
I have a feeling this is going to be one very interesting interview.
Okay.
You know, you're probably one of the most colourful characters in Cape Town at the moment.
Okay.
And we've read your books and we're very intrigued by what you have to say. So I thought this interview basically to give us a bit of background on Yusuf Daniels and what inspired you to write the words in these two spectacular books. The one obviously being a bestseller here in South Africa.
Yes. Did you say it louder, please? I didn't hear
A
the
bestseller
Here we
in
go.
South Africa.
He said bestseller, by the way, yeah. Abdurraouf, you know, it started actually about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So actually in the last 13 months, my first book was released.
Yeah.
And what inspired that book was I had a groin injury. And I was laying on an acupuncture bed. Now, some people have heard the story.
Yeah.
And I was bored. I had needles in the groin and head area. And, you know, I just decided that day, let me take out my phone. And I just start telling people what's happening in the room. That was the first day, 28th of October, 2018. And I wrote a story of me laying on that bed, Nalani Kop, and I just posted on Facebook. And that's where the journey started, and people just liked and laughed. And then I did 7 stories in 10 days. And people said, Yusuf, you need to write a book. Obviously, I added the spice, the coloured spice, the Dimaka spice. Yeah. And the one thing led to another. By the 1st of June last year, the first book was released.
Now, I mean, looking at your books and going through them, it's obviously a personal journey for you.
Yes.
So it takes a lot of courage to write about your own life. And but you obviously seem like one of those people who have the audacity to put that forward.
I don't know if it's audacity, just stupidity, but I'll go with audacity. I like that word, by the way, word of the day, audacity. Yeah. No, you know what? I just thought a lot of people don't know about our culture. They see our culture a certain way. This book is basically just there to portray a little bit of our real culture. Especially book 1 is me growing up on the Cape Flats, basically.
Yeah.
So from Bridgetown area, that's your Athlone area, then moved to Mitchell's Plain, and the sport that went with it, the games that went with it, just the whole culture that we still have. I just wanted to share that with people and also just put our people on the map. I don't think we write enough about our culture, especially our culture. Yeah. Our culture is almost like, just go sit at the back there for now. So I thought, come back here, and I thought, let me just write about our culture, but also put a lot of laughter in there. Yeah. Because there's nothing better than laughter, especially now. We need laughter right now.
So the SA Diplomat Abroad is obviously a medium that services the international South African expatriate community living and working abroad. And our following basically gives insights into their thinking and also gives them insights further into what's happening in South Africa. Your names come up in conversation many times across the world, wherever we've been.
Good eye.
And you know, the message that you portray, it's a message that many of us can relate to. So Living Coloured was your first book.
Yes.
And that book's now become a bestseller in South Africa.
Yes.
So tell us how that worked and how you managed to get to that point as a first-time author, to get to a best-selling book in South Africa.
Okay, so then a friend of mine sent out the stories to
Yeah.
a publishing company without me knowing, by the
Yeah.
way. Her name is Natasha. And she sent it out, and then we got an interview. Someone said they're flying someone from Joburg over to Cape Town. They want me to write this book for them. It's a publishing company. That led to that. I marketed the life out of the book. I did most of the marketing of the book. And it worked really well. By the third month, we hit bestseller status. It was just on everybody's lips here in Cape Town, because I think people, like you said, people relate to the book.
Yeah.
And then from there, you learn as you go along.
Yeah.
I decided to self-publish the second book because 660 wasn't enough for me on the first book. Yeah, I couldn't buy much for my little dragons. So I decided to self-publish.
Yeah.
And now I also publish people's books, whether you're in the community, doesn't mean not only colored people, anybody. Anybody that has the little bit of writing within them,
Yeah.
I want to bring out.
Yeah.
So I have writers' workshops now. I try to just get the community to write. You know what I always say, Abdul? I say, the best stories are in the graveyard. People die with their stories. And that, I want to stop that. I want people to start writing. And since my first workshop, I've had about 4 or 5 people out of that 15 people, 15 people were at the workshop. 4 or 5 people that's now busy writing. So mission accomplished.
I think you're inspiring a lot, and from your side, I mean, you writing has never been your career
No.
of choice.
No.
This is only in the last few years that you've adopted that. Where did Yusuf Daniels come from in his career?
I was a flight attendant for 8 years with SAA, yes. I was a flight attendant with SAA for a couple of years, and then I became an auctioneer. I did an auctioneer's course, and then I also studied NLP.
That explains the verbal diarrhea. Is the auctioneer?
He sometimes says I have a verbal idea. But yes, now I do talk a lot and fast, as you can hear.
Yeah.
So auctioneer, I love the auction game. I love the auction game. I did an auction at one of my book signings one day, and I almost thought, I've got one book there, I've got one, I need 2 books, I've got 2 books, I need 3 books. I sold 15 books in 10 seconds. So it works for me. You know?
And after auctioneering, you decided to...
I didn't decide. I think God chose me.
Yeah.
He chose me to start writing, putting it out there, and you know, the last 13 months has been a crazy ride. There's just so much happening right now.
You know, when we promoted this this interview earlier this week, we posted a photo of yourself and myself on our social media platforms. And I think audiences went crazy when they saw you on the platform.
Oh.
I mean, we've had other major sportsmen, we've had other major celebrities on our channel, but I think you've attracted the most interaction.
I think it's the hair.
I think so too. I think so too.
Ultra firm mold. It works, yeah.
So tell me, you've written a new book as well that
Yes.
you recently published, and that's one you've published yourself. Tell us about that book.
So living Lekke, from Mitchell's Plain to Aeroplane. So the subtitle from Mitchell's Plain to Aeroplane basically says, it doesn't matter where you come from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just that where you come from should not determine where you end up or where you're going in life.
Yeah.
So I came from Mitchell's Plain, humble beginnings, and I've seen the world as a flight attendant. And so that's the title. And then I started writing from about 18 years old. Book 1 is from 1 to 18 years old. Book 2 is from 18 years to about, I would say about 40 years old. Yes, I am over 40, I know. And then the second book has got 5 airline stories in there. So before I started my third story in the book, I just said there, I said, please people forgive me, make me laugh, because it's going to get out of hand now. But I had to. I think the second book for me is a lot more colorful.
Yeah.
It's different, but it's a lot of crazy in there. If some of you know me, I am a lot of crazy. Yeah.
So our audience basically, in order for me to read your first book, I had to bring it in from South Africa to Doha. How do people internationally access your mediums, and how do they purchase your books online in order to read and be part of this whole journey of Yusuf Daniels?
So you can online. You can get the book on Kobo, Amazon has it, Smashwords has it as well. So just click on those sites, and then you go Living Colored or Living Lekke, and that's how you can access the book.
So your following has grown over the last few years due to your mediums that you've published. There's some more that you are looking at going forward. So tell us about the exciting part about the future surrounding your brands.
Right, so like I said, the last 13 months, beginning of the 13 months, book 1. A year later, book 2. A few weeks later, I just signed a contract with the Baxter Theatre where they're going to take both my books and they're going to turn it into a production. So that's very exciting. In the near future, we're going to kick off that process. So that's exciting. And then we have now done a talk show. It is called That Colored Show. Yeah, and I think you need to watch that show.
Yeah. So that also will be able to access via various platforms internationally.
So that show is actually starting on the 5th of September. It is on the 5th of September, which is a few days from now. You can go on to Quicket, South Africa, or just Quicket, and then you go on to click onto That Colored Show.
Yeah.
At 75 Rand. So for your people, it's about 75 cents in dollars. Yeah. So guys, don't be shy. Take it out of your tiki pocket and just quick it quickly there.
Yeah. For the information of the viewers, that's under $5 for a ticket to Yusuf's show.
It's so sad to hear that.
Yeah.
So sad to hear that. But guys, go for it. So Quicket, you can watch it it's about an hour show. It is again our culture, fun, laughter. What we do on the show is we basically showcase artists, new artists that's been there all these years for us, not just the new, a little bit of the older, I can't say older, get upset with me. So older artists, like Mark Lotting is one of them.
Yeah.
And then what we do is also, it's very tough right now in the industry.
Yeah.
So it's a platform to showcase these people. But at the same time, That Colored Show, the reason why we chose That Colored Show, the colored part means it is for all colors. We do not only showcase colored people on the show. Just get that out there.
And I'm sure that means it's very colorful as well.
Very
colorful.
There we go.
Well, you involved, so it would be colorful.
Sure, yeah. It's very colorful, of course, but like in the second episode, I've got a young white rapper on the show. But I think South Africa is going to be nice. Oh, you guys are going to be pleasantly surprised with this boy. He can rap. So we mix it up a little bit. A lot of fun, a lot of laughter, and you're in for a few surprises on there as well. The first show is this Saturday, 5th of September. Then we have a second show on the 3rd of September as well, 4 different guests.
October.
Oh, so my apologies. October the 3rd is the second show.
Okay, now Yusuf, where we find ourselves in South Africa and the world at the moment is in a COVID crisis. The coronavirus and the COVID-19 pandemic since March has put a hold on many industries and many professions and so on. How has this affected you over the last 6 months in sales and in your mediums that you cover?
You know, I'm going to sound almost wrong if I tell you this, but for me, the COVID period has brought out something else. It has taught me to basically think out the box and the other box and all the boxes basically. And like I said to you, I've done 3 things within the COVID period. Sure, I would have liked to have more sales on my book. I had to cancel my Joburg tour. I had to cancel my Garden Route tour, Namibia tour, UK tour, and Australia 3-city tour. And I was going to come to the Gulf also, by the way. So that obviously affects sales, but you know, alhamdulillah, we still have. I've sold quite a few books. Like some of the bigger boys bought in quite a bit. So I'm okay. I'm okay on the sales side.
Well, the person that told me about your book was Ambassador Faisal Musa, His Excellency Ambassador to Qatar. So clearly your book's reaching the right people around the world as well, and it's being promoted.
That's fantastic.
Finally, Yusuf, any kind words of advice for upcoming writers and publishers and talk show hosts in general?
You know, Adrof, I just say people are so scared to take that chance.
Yeah.
You will not know until you try. Look at me. I barely scraped through high school. Yes, I was clever back in the day, but not in matric. But I scraped through. I didn't do any literary courses, or I didn't study at university or the English language. I wrote the book my way. Don't be scared to write the way you think. That people buy into realness right now. Don't try and be someone else. That I always say that someone else already taken. Be you. Put that up there. Take that step. If you need any help, go like that colored show page. Message me in there if you need any advice. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. I will share. I share it all the time, openly, no charge, with people. I just want people to write and tell their stories. There's just so many stories that needs to be told.
Yusuf, thank you for your time. I mean, I think your words are very inspiring to our audiences. And I have a feeling that in the future there's going to be far more of these types of stories coming out. Not to take away what you've achieved already. So we wish you well for the future, and hopefully in the near future our audience will get to meet you personally, internationally. So we plan to put something together for you to get you out to our audience.
Love it, love it. Looking forward to that, and thanks for having me.
So the man to my left obviously needed no introduction. Yusuf Daniels is a household name in South Africa, and every day that passes he becomes more and more known to the international community as well. We're pleased to be in his company, and we are pleased to support his mediums and to endorse his upcoming shows, and we encourage our viewers to do the same. The links for the various shows on Quicket and for his talk shows and his books will be on screen as we speak. And we wish him well, and we hope to see him in the Gulf very, very, very soon. This is the SA Diplomat Abroad. I'm Abdurrauf Hanslow. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and pound the notification bell. Until next time, goodbye.
And stay lekker. Bye.
Mark?
Last question, final question. The hair, right? When you get older,
Yes.
right? And that hair goes grey, the black part goes grey.
Yes.
Are you going to dye that white piece black?
No, this is a very. I cannot tell you that I've not thought about this.
No, I know.
And
I asked the fuck the question.
So baby, don't you wanna wait. So she's going overseas, love is up in NYC. She couldn't get too close, she probably wouldn't leave. Why don't you just stay? Cause you know you wanna play.